right. Good morning, everybody. Tim, would you like to start us off, please?
Most certainly.
Okay.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land. In all of us
Thank you, Tim. And Barry's doing our Sergeant at Arms report this morning.
Yeah, I'm trying to fill some big boots, but anyway.
Barry, can you come to the mic?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this was live, right?
Yes.
Any other guests other than our special guest, Steve? And I'll be introducing Steve for shortly. And so Al's not here today. Like suit of hospitals. So some of the news items I picked up, and one it's about a local company, Dicky Bee Honey, and Peter and Sandy are retiring. They sold the business and they're moving. Will be moving to an area near. They started this company, became a stalwart company in our community and in the honey business in general. With their business, they've developed a good reputation and they received numerous awards, including I think this one for the fall of Royal Winter. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Peter and Sandy have been tremendous supporters of our club, and the main aspect of that is our Christmas baskets. How many years is it?
I don't know, I think four. I was
4 years. Yeah, so that's and very successful, a good fundraiser, and we hope that the new company that has purchased the business will maybe be a partner in that as well. A couple of interesting stories on the news. There's a 90-year-old man going into space this morning. I'll be the first. And in Toronto, there was a individual who needed a lung transplant, and so the donor lungs were taken from Toronto Western Hospital to Toronto General Hospital by a drone. So that's the first thing. And the other one is kind of unique. There's a woman in BC. She had gone to bed and She heard this terrible bang and woke up, and a meteorite had come through her home and landed on the pillow beside her. So, but I just some. Anyway, that's my report. Carry on.
Thank you, Barry. And I believe that 90-year-old going into space is Will Shatner.
Yeah, apparently.
So he will be the first person. He was Star Trek, wasn't he?
Star Trek.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so-
Personally.
Yeah, so he would be the first person from Star Trek to actually go to space. Probably the only one. All right, Barry, well, I'm gonna get you right back up to introduce your speaker then, please.
All right. Great to have you here this morning, Steve. Kicked off your bio off the website, just for everybody's information. Seen or met Steve before. Steve was born and raised in Toronto and attended the University of Toronto, obtaining a Bachelor of Commerce degree. And then obtained his CPA designation, which is Certified Public Accountant. He worked at a number of companies such as GE Canada, senior financial positions. In 1998, he made a career and lifestyle change by moving to Muskoka and purchasing an office. Looking to find business and personal contacts, he joined the Rotary Club of Bracebridge. Has been an active member there for over 23 years. As a member of the Bracebridge Club, Steve is the past president in the years 2012-13, a Rotary year, and has been chair of many of the club's committees, including the annual Canada Day celebration and strategic planning. Steve has been active in the district level for a number of years as chair of the finance committee and assistant district governor. He has attended many district and international conferences, participated in a friendship exchange to New Zealand in 2017, and an international service project, Rotary Wheels for Learning in Cambodia. He was currently retired and lives in Houston with his wife Sharon, who unfortunately wasn't able to attend today. But, and she is a member of the Rotary Club. They have two daughters, Heather and Kyla. And Heather is a member of the Rotary Club of Muskoka. Kyla, her partner, is a member of the Rotary Club of Barrie. In addition to Steve and Sharon enjoy golf and welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Barry. So, good morning, and it's a pleasure to be here this morning. It's honored and pleased. I always love coming to the Innisfil Club, and certainly good morning to all of our Zoom participants. It's good to see you there, the smiling faces. Tim is going to play Vanna White here and advance the screen. We haven't practiced this, so I'm not sure how good he is at being Vanna, but I've got lots of faith in him. So I hope over the next few minutes that I'm able to share with you some of what our district does and what some of Rotary's and my priorities are for the year 21-22. So Tim, I'll just say Tim, and then you go click. Tim. Terrific.
Let's call Ben.
Ben, okay, so firstly, what's District 7010? And 7010 is a number, and that's all it is. It's a number that's been assigned to us by Rotary International. And it's really part of a geographic area that encompasses central and northern Ontario and parts of northern Quebec. So it spans from Innisfil here in the south, Collingwood in the west, over to Peterborough in the east, and as far north as Hearst. So if you're familiar with a map of Ontario, as you can see here, it covers an awful lot of area. And Sharon and I did a northern trip at the end of August and saw most of our northern clubs. And I can attest to the fact that it is a big province and this is a big district. In fact, if you go to the glove box that's in your car and pull out the map, you'll probably find that you have to look at both sides of the map to see our entire district. So we have a total of 40 Rotary clubs with about 1,400 Rotarians, 8 Rotaract clubs with 150 Rotaractors, and 6 Interact clubs with an unknown number of Interactors because we're having trouble keeping track of Interactors. Okay, Vanna. So what does the district do? Our district exists for one reason and one reason only, and that is to support our clubs and give them the tools and resources to help make them grow, take action, and make change. So some examples of these programs that I'm referring to is, say, our Youth Exchange Program, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, or RYLA, and that's organized and managed by our New Generations Committee. We do training. We do President-elect's training and Rotary Weekend, which takes place in April of each year. And I'm really pleased to report that Dean successfully passed President-elect's training. And we also do things like the Rotary Leadership Institute and offer club strategic planning. We have membership programs. Our membership committee develops tools to attract and retain members and host things like our Wednesday talk shows. So last Wednesday, our topic was what new members want. And thank you very much for Tim and participating as one of the panelists on that. Hopefully you caught that. If you didn't, you can catch the recording on the district and you can catch all of what Tim said about you. We also organize things like district-wide fellowship programs. So there's a new motorcycle fellowship that's just been launched and they're trying to put together some other new ones. We manage grants, both district and global grants. And Innisfil, I'm pleased to see, received a $3,000 district grant to assist with the HARD initiative and also got an $800 COVID grant last year. However, the club didn't apply for a district grant this year, which is too bad because really this, because you've been involved with them before, know that it's really free money and urge everybody, all clubs to take advantage of it. And then we also organize the annual district conference. Okay, so how do we do this? Go ahead, Tim. So we do this through volunteers, both Rotary and Rotaract members from around our district, our directors who head up such functional areas like youth exchange, membership, foundation, etc., each of which have a number of committees, again, with volunteers. And we do it through assistant governors, and there's a total of 8 who are organized in various geographic areas. So the assistant governor is really the link between the club and the district. And as everyone knows here, your assistant governor is Barb. And really the message I have here with respect to assistant governors and clubs is clubs shouldn't try to reinvent the wheel. It's really important that they take advantage of their assistant governor and use the assistant governor to help them connect with our district resources that can help your clubs. Okay, I'm going to switch gears now and talk about Rotary International. And the Rotary International theme for 21-22 is Serve to Change Lives, which really highlights one of the primary reasons why we joined Rotary, and that is to make a difference through service. Our Rotary International president, Shekhar Mehta, who is from India, says that serving others is the best way to live because it changes not only other people's lives, but also our own. Okay, some of Shekhar's priorities for Rotary this year. Number 1 is polio eradication. And that's our continued battle against polio. And Rotary this year has made a $50 million commitment, which together with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's 2-to-1 match, raises the total to $150 million US. And we're very close to reaching our goal of a polio-free world. And there are only been 2 new cases in 2021, one in Pakistan and one in Afghanistan. And this really is remarkable when you compare it to 2020, last year, when the totals were 84 cases in Pakistan and 56 in Afghanistan. So the fact that we've only had 2 so far this year is really quite remarkable. And a part of that has been attributed to the pandemic, the fact that people are social distancing, they're wearing masks, and polio is an airborne communicable disease like COVID is. It's also great to see that Brandy, I saw, is organizing a polio walk for your club on Sunday, October the 24th, which is terrific. As you know, there still is more work to do in terms of monitoring and surveillance, as it's necessary to go 3 years without any new cases before we can be declared polio-free. Second priority is membership. And Rotary International President Shaker has challenged us to grow membership from 1.2 million to 1.3 million in 21-22, which is really quite a feat when you consider the fact that Rotary has been stuck at 1.2 million members for the last 20 years. Each year we get new members, but we also lose members, and we always have ended up at 1.2 million. So to move from 1.2 to 1.3 is really a big job. And to do this, President Shaker has asked each of us to commit to his program, which he calls Each One Bring One. So that's pretty simple. If every Rotarian was committed to bringing in just 1 new member, we would obviously mathematically easily reach his goal. And Rotary membership here in North America has been on the decline. It's declined 3 to 4% each year over the last 10 years, and that's the situation both in North America, in Europe, Australia. Sort of the traditional areas for Rotary have been in decline, and what's been offsetting that decline is significant growth in places like India, the Far East, Korea, Japan, and in Africa. So because of this, to grow, not only do we not to each one bring one, but we have to make sure, especially here in North America, that we are attractive to tomorrow's member, which means Rotary needs to change. And I'll touch on that a little bit more in a minute. We also know that having a strong social media presence is one of the keys to success in growing clubs. And I think your club's doing a great job in promoting your events, and you're featuring your club members in almost daily posts on your Facebook page. And your impact video, I thought, was an excellent promotion of your club in the community. I really did enjoy that. Okay, Shaker's third priority is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think you'll be hearing a lot more about this focus in coming months. Rotary is very, very fortunate that one of our very own, Valerie Wafer, Valerie is a Rotary International Director and also a member of the Rotary Club of South Georgian Bay. And she's been named as the chair of Rotary International's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. So a top priority for Rotary is not only growing, but also diversifying our membership to make sure that we reflect the communities that we serve. We want people with differing perspectives and ideas. And Valerie and her committee are actively and deliberately working towards making Rotary's membership and activities more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. At the district level, District Governor nominee Juanita Hodson is in the process of putting together a committee, and we have reached out, but so far haven't been successful in recruiting a chair for that committee. So if you're interested, or you know anybody that would be a good candidate, please let Juanita and I know. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to some of my priorities as district governor for our district. So in addition to Rotary International President's goals, I have a few other initiatives for our district to focus on this year. Number one is the Rotary Foundation. And last year, the Rotary Foundation funded more than 2,000 global grants and a countless number of local district grants that empowered Rotary members around the world to take on projects that they care about and make a difference in their communities. One half of our district's contributions to the annual fund are returned back to the district to be used for district grants, club global grant applications, and funding global grant scholars. The other half of the contributions are also available to clubs as foundation matching grants on global grant applications. And I know that as individuals, we all have a limit to the amount that we personally have available to contribute as charitable donations. And there's lots of worthy charities to choose from, whether it be the Cancer Society, Alzheimer's, Heart and Stroke. And we often choose because a loved one has been impacted by one of these organizations. And I ask you, though, to consider adding the Rotary Foundation to your list, because what other charity returns back one half of your donations to be used by clubs in the district? So when I put it that way, I say, you know, how could you not include the Rotary Foundation as one of your charities of choice? And while Rotarians' generosities helped raise more than $440 million last year, the demand for grant expenditures has exceeded the amount raised. And my goal for clubs is to have total club and member contributions that would of $150 per member. So for a club with 30 members, that would equal $4,500. In addition, contributions to the Polio Plus campaign have a goal of $50 per member. And these amounts, they can be achieved either through club fundraising efforts or through individual member contributions. I noticed last year that Innisfil wasn't a contributor to the annual fund or the polio fund. So I'm encourage you to meet those targets of $2,000 to the annual fund and $1,000, or not $1,000, and about $600 to the polio fund this year. Your donations make it possible for Rotary members around the world to continue this life-changing work. Next slide, Tim. So you should be hopefully familiar with the Indigenous Focus Project of Water First. I think I was here on Zoom 2 weeks ago and shared with you what that project is. And again, the goal of our district Indigenous Focus community is to identify projects and initiatives that Rotary and Rotaract clubs, can participate in to improve Indigenous communities' health and well-being. So we've identified a program through a Canadian charitable organization called Water First. And Water First works with First Nations tribal councils by funding a career training program for young adults in water management. Our plan is to raise $125,000 for this program by obtaining support from Rotary and Rotaract clubs in District 7010 and other Rotary districts, both in Canada and internationally. And I'm pleased that the reaction to our presentation, we have a committee of about 10 Rotarians, Rotaractors have been going around the district and clubs outside of our district. We have commitments of almost $100,000 at this point in time. So we're very pleased, and we just heard, I don't know if you're familiar with the Rotary Club Sudbury Sunrisers. We're a member of that club, works for the local radio station, and the radio station had a contest throughout the month of September where 3 charities, and the charity that received the most votes was awarded $10,000 by a local car dealer, and we were successful in getting the most votes, so we got $10,000. So I hope your club will agree to support this initiative. Next slide, Tim. Other priority is the Great Ideas Committee. And really, the purpose of this committee is to provide a resource for clubs to easily access shared ideas and information. And we've seen that there's lots of potential opportunities for great idea sharing. And so we're decided to start by gathering information that will help with new fundraising initiatives in your community. So the ideas could include major fundraising initiatives or creative smaller ones. Innisfil Club is a good example of the great ideas, how this great ideas committee works. So I just mentioned your impact video, and that could easily be something that could be a model for other clubs. You've been running your beer for a year, and again, that could be an idea that could be shared with other clubs. I think a good example of the great ideas spirit is the bottle drive, where basically you learned from the Timmins Club, who were doing the bottle drive, and that's been a success for you. So by working with each other and sharing ideas, we can be more successful and stronger. To be successful, though, we do need your help, and we need a volunteer from your club that will help to be the contact person that we can work together with to get your best ideas and help assemble a database. So someone from the committee will be contacting you if they haven't already to help gather ideas and details of your club's best ideas. Okay, next slide, Tim. I talked a bit earlier briefly just about how Rotary needs to change, and our theme for our district conference this year was changing together, or changer ensemble. And Rotary has been aware of the need to change and to reevaluate whether the product that Rotary offers meets the needs of tomorrow's Rotarians. A number of changes over the past years have been evident, and it was also clear that Rotary would need to continue to evolve if it was not only going to thrive, but exist in the future. So recently we've seen such things as attendance requirements becoming less stringent, new club formats were introduced, the Rotary police were disbanded with the message that there are no Rotary police, and we're seeing more women in leadership positions. Hence, I think the appropriateness of the theme changing together. Rotary needs to take what we've learned during this pandemic and use it to help shape a new normal in Rotary. We can't just go back to the way that Rotary operated prior to the pandemic. Everything we do must be about creating the best possible experience for our members. This will help us attract new members and retain current ones. What's worked for years for established clubs and their members doesn't always work today for new members. And while traditions are important, new traditions are also important. As an example, land acknowledgements are becoming part of many of our club's meetings. And I think that's just one example of some of the change that's taking place with our clubs. And everyone talks about change, but clubs are often resistant to change. And I'm not talking about change just for the sake of change, but we need to reassess the way we've done things in the past and make sure that they're still relevant today and appealing to new Rotarians. Need to consider such things as time of day. We're finding, for example, that clubs that traditionally meet for lunch meetings is finding it's taking up too much time in the day. Clubs should not be exclusive. Time and cost should not be a deterrent. And if there's behavior that takes place at a club that's not acceptable, then it should be addressed. So if you just think about, how our world has changed today such that it's a reality, you can now get everything delivered to your home. You can deliver medical things by drone from in cities. Relationships are much different than they were before. Online, you can find a friend, you can get a date, you can get married, you can even get divorced online. And future members are online and they're Googling service clubs and making decisions based on reviews that others have posted. And our future members want to do, not to meet. So we need to be more flexible and have no roadblocks. And there's endless examples of what we can do to be more flexible. If we find, for example, that younger members don't feel that they're getting value, maybe we reduce fees for younger members. In some cases, in clubs, meals are more expensive than dues. So how about an option of Rotary Light if a member doesn't want meals? The point being that business as usual will not work for us anymore. Bringing in new members to replace the ones we lose is also not the answer. It's like pouring water into a bucket that's full of holes. And we also need to understand why members leave. At some point in our life, we may become unhappy at work. And what do? Well, we quit or we look for a transfer. The same applies to Rotary. When a member becomes unhappy, they just leave. But people don't quit Rotary, they just quit clubs. So we need to make members aware of the ability to transfer to another Rotary experience if that's what they want. We need to do things different. We need to think out of the box. At the district, we have resources for clubs on approaches to attract new members. And I personally think that our future for growth in Rotary are our new innovative club models. Things such as alternative meeting groups or satellite groups. We have new cause-based clubs that are starting. There's an environment club that there was an email that went out yesterday explaining that. And we also have a club, an online club for real estate professionals that is getting started up. And these formats don't detract from traditional models. I think they add to it. The key is to offer different club formats that are going to be attractive to tomorrow's member. So as I said earlier, the key is to move forward and not go back to the old one. It's time for change, and if we do nothing, nothing will change. And above all, we can't just talk about change, we also need action. I think this is what needs to be the new normal for Rotary. So I hope this summary gives you an appreciation of what your district is all about and the resources that are available to your club. I also hope that you have a better understanding of what the priorities and direction of Rotary International and our district are for 21-22. And I want to thank you for allowing me to share this with you. And I want to thank all of you as Rotarians for everything that you do in your community to serve to change lives. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Tim, can we see everyone on the screen, please?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions,
Yeah, that's what I was about to do. I just can't see if anyone's got questions online. Anyone here have any questions while we're waiting?
Just a comment.
Sure, Barry.
Barb and I were chatting there, checking the ID. Pardon?
I just wonder what we were talking
Oh.
about.
Okay, we'll leave that part.
Yeah.
So we agreed that our virtual meetings should continue even after the pandemic has gone. And Barb mentioned that people would still participate through the virtual if they want, depending on circumstances. And so it might be a way to maybe retain members, but if they weren't appearing here, they could take advantage of the virtual. So help keep our numbers up.
Well, you're right, Barry. And, I think hybrid meetings, as opposed to when I think of a virtual, that's everything online, where hybrid is what we're doing right now, I think is really the future for all Rotary clubs. I think that, it's going to help with attendance. It's going to help with engagement. And it's great, if we have snowbirds, for example, and they can attend meetings if they're not here in the winter time. So I think you're going to see almost all clubs are going to try to go to a hybrid model on an ongoing basis. Yeah.
I think last week was a perfect example of that. Doug Weber was in Egypt. Well, he attended our meeting.
Excellent. That's excellent. Yeah.
So,
you still want to get the in-person amount as much as you possibly can, because so much of Rotary is about fellowship and connections with one another. And it's we all know it's a lot more difficult to do that when you're in a Zoom meeting, but I think just for the convenience and accessibility, a hybrid model works really well.
Any other questions, comments? Online people?
Nope.
I can't see
You
them,
can probably
so
close the PowerPoint, Tim.
Yeah, I did.
still on the screen. Oh,
Sorry.
I can steal my mic back.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm out. Here we go.
There we go. There's everybody's.
There's a smiley face.
Thank you very much, Steve. We're gonna move on to regular business, full business. Jeff, we have to hear for a year, please.
All right, we have probably anywhere between 200 and 300 tickets left to sell yet. We got to get them sold before the 1st of December. So we still have another 8 weeks to go. So if we can get them out there and get them sold, anybody who wants tickets, I have lots with me. So I'm gonna get them. And if you want to buy some, Steve.
He has a hand up. So,
All right, we need to sell
Hey, Jeff. Jeff, are we planning on doing anything, whether it's like so we?
them. Yeah, Tim and I were talking about it. I was away last week. So we'll talk about it today or tomorrow.
Sure.
Send out an email.
Thank you. And Janet, I know you sent out a couple of emails. I slotted you some time to speak about your club runner and grant training system online.
Okay, so hopefully everybody can hear. So the first one we've got coming up on Monday, October 18th, is for the Rotary grant writing, so that we get our MOU or MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. We can't write grants without having two of us actually have that MOU. So right now, currently, there's people that want to be part of it, but cannot do it that night. You can do this online if you want. You can go right online to the Rotary District and do the actual questionnaire, as well as answer and get your certification that way. We don't have to do it as a group. However, if it's better for everybody to do it at once, or some people that aren't able to take it on that, I can move that date if need be. So if anybody has any dates that they would prefer it to be on, can you please email me? And then I can set up an alternative date on that, because right now nobody's actually signed up for that particular item. And then on the following Monday, which is from 6:30 to approximately 9 o'clock, it won't go past 9, that's for sure, is our club runner training. And I've got about 4 or 5 people already signed up for that. And I'm looking forward, once we get closer to the date, I'll send out the Zoom link and we'll do it that way. Okay. Both will be on Zoom regardless. And that's it.
Great, thank you, Janet. So if anyone has questions or dates, I assume they would just contact you.
Yep, they can call, email me, or text me.
Thank you again. That's what we have for old business. New business. Steve was talking about a polio walk, and Brandy sent out an email last night, but Brandy, do you have more to add to that?
No, I have to that email that was sent out last night. I'm hoping I can see as many club members as possible come out on October 24th. The Foundations Committee has planned an awareness walk to commence at the No Frills parking lot for 1, and we'll walk to Sobeys. And due to COVID regulations, we probably shouldn't gather after, so we will disperse shortly after. But fire and police have been extended an invitation to attend as well.
Fantastic, thank you.
President Dean,
Yes, Mark.
can we ask Brandy if we can bring friends and family and sort of make a big crowd?
Did you hear that, Brandy?
I didn't hear the ending.
Barb would like to know if we're allowed to bring family and friends and make it a bigger event.
I feel it would be safe for Rotarians to bring maybe immediate families and not make it a large event just for the COVID restrictions and rules. That was something we had discussed, bringing some family and club members, but I wouldn't be encouraging the public to gather as well with us, as we don't know what we can and cannot do as far as COVID.
Yeah, because if we went past that 100, outside, then we would actually, it would be a black eye, I think, on us as Rotary. So it's probably better we keep it to a more manageable size. Or if there was, for some reason, a giant, we actually do need somebody to facilitate breaking people up. Say, you walk over on this side of the road, you walk on this side of the road. Let's not, because I don't want people to turn around and say, Rotary broke all the rules. It's like, it's not.
Yeah, we just split this just 50 and 50.
Perhaps close friends and families and club members.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
President Dean,
Yes, sir.
comment. Steve mentioned about the two cases in Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Yep.
Considering what's going on in the Taliban in Pakistan now, or in Afghanistan, can you comment or see what?
Well, obviously there's, Barry's asking about polio in Afghanistan, and obviously there are challenges with the Taliban and getting access to continue doing vaccinations and doing surveillance and monitoring, which is really a big part of what we're doing right now. But the World Health Organization and Rotary are working together with the Taliban, and they're claiming that they will not interfere with the ongoing efforts to monitor what's going on. Hopefully that's good. Yes, that is good.
That's fantastic news. Because wasn't there an incident with volunteers doing a couple about a year ago?
Yes, there was probably 6 months ago. There was I think 3 people that got killed in an explosion that was, as a result of Taliban and Afghanistan forces fighting together. So yeah.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? No, so we have some time. Let's do a good news round. We'll start with the people online.
Chad, we haven't heard from you much today.
Sorry, did you say me?
Yes, you.
Oh, thank you. Just happy to be here virtually today and just want to give Tim a big shout out for all the work that he does to make this possible every week. So thanks, Tim.
Dr. Doug, welcome.
Thank you. District Governor Steve, congratulations on your year that's off and running. People like District Governor Steve or Barb or the presidents of the clubs, even committee chairs, they step up to bring Rotary forward in the world and in their lives, and they're all to be congratulated. And our good news is we got a brand new roof this last week before the snow flies. So we're happy.
Thank you, Dr. J. Janet.
Hi, everyone. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. My family were playing hockey out on the road like most typical families do, with 2 sets, like my son and daughter-in-law and my daughter and son-in-law with the kids. It was great. Haven't done that in almost 2 years, so it was a lot of fun. Also, we had a little bit of a hiccup when we thought the worst was because Ken, my husband, had come down with high fever and chills. And of course, we started panicking, quarantined him into the bedroom with a TV and gave him room service. But luckily enough, the next day we found out that he didn't have COVID. It was just a 24-hour flu bug. So we're, happy with all of that. So hope everybody has a great week.
Thank you, Janet. Robert.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Got a big meeting scheduled this week with the Town of Innisfil Planning Department so that they can finally let us know what Habitat can build in Innisfil. So fingers crossed we got an answer of what we're going to be engaging in 2022.
Good luck. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later. Brandy.
Nothing big. I managed to, with one hand, get 65 daffodil bulbs into the ground. So I am now eagerly awaiting for them to come up in the spring.
Oh, my whole screen just shifted. Chris Beggs.
Good morning. Thank you for your talk, Steve. You gave us a lot of really great information in nice condensed form, so that was great. And I guess this week I'm just really thinking of the people who've been in my life over time, and some of whom are exiting slowly or less slowly. And yeah, just been sort of an introspective week for me. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Thank you, Chris. Katie.
Good morning, everybody. We have some good news in that the household came down with a short flu over Thanksgiving, but we have made a positive turn. We're all starting to feel a little bit better. But very excitingly, today is going to be a very significant announcement coming from RVH about the future of South Simcoe Healthcare. So if you follow RVH, Team RVH on Facebook, you'll see that there was a post yesterday to a link of a live stream of that announcement that'll be on at 11 a.m. this morning. So I encourage all of you to check it out if you've got the time. It'll be very exciting things coming. So
Thank you very much. I see a lot of people marking that down. Michael Tuff.
Just grateful for an awesome Thanksgiving weekend and beautiful weather and hanging out with our family, and grateful to be here.
Thank you, Michael. Mr. Tim.
Everybody here on this mic now? Here? Okay, good. All right, yeah, it was a great weekend. We had up north, Nathaniel actually lost his wallet, but thankfully somebody picked it up who lived in Unionville. It actually showed up there at the RBC yesterday. My wife was able to get it for him, so very relieved. 16-year-old son, realizing he didn't have to go get his driver's license forms again and health card. That would have been a nightmare. So grateful today that part was solved. Thank you.
Barry, would you like to go next?
Just some good news about one of our members, Whitney. She has secured a position with the Princess Margaret Foundation in Toronto. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Mr. Meadley.
Sure. I actually have two pieces of good news, but really I'm only going to take credit for one because it's too bad that Al wasn't here today, because if you don't know, tonight is the night the Toronto Maple Leafs opening game on their march towards the Stanley Cup. So that's really, really good. Second piece of good news, as you know, I live up in Huntsville, and so I had to get up early, so I got to hear the news 3 or 4 times on the way down here this morning. And they made an announcement that the Canadian-US land border is opening. Sounds like sometime early in November, and I do have a place in Florida that I haven't been able to visit, so I'm really keen on being able to do that. So,
Yeah, but I hear that we're still waiting on whether mixed vaccinations or anything will be able to cross the border.
hopefully that's not a problem, because I'm 1.5 AstraZeneca.
Yeah, so am I. And 1/2 Moderna. Jeff.
Yeah, it's been a good Thanksgiving weekend. We had friends and family over for the first time in a long time. We can actually get together and celebrate Thanksgiving. And the weather's been great. I love this weather. This can stay right through to March as far as I'm concerned. Start getting warmer.
The good news is, look, there's Ann Smith.
Hey!
Maybe she'll talk to us after.
It's a beautiful day here in the UK. Let me show you how beautiful it is, if you don't mind. I'll just quickly show you guys how beautiful it is right now.
Wow.
Beautiful sunny day. We're just back from the James Bond movie. 10 o'clock in the morning showing.
Well, we miss you, Anne, but glad you're having a good time. I don't have any more good news. I saw Anne.
Morning, everyone. So my good news, last night I heard something that I haven't heard for almost 40 years. I was watching Sports Center and somebody referred to the New York Islanders as Stanley Cup favorites. So ever since the government did with John Tavares and, picked up that over the hill, Lou Lamoriello really changed our fortunes. I'm not sure where John went or where he came from.
Hey, Chris, how are your Niners doing? How are the 49ers doing?
Good morning. Just happy to be here. Happy to have a great Thanksgiving with my family. We did still spend it outdoors, which the weather was perfect for that. Just happy to be here.
We have some really good news. As you know, we are new grandparents. Our grandson was born on the 26th of September, and he actually was sick. He's been in the hospital for 2 weeks, and he did come home on Friday. Yay. We had, well, he hasn't been around, but we've been able to go see him. So I was the grandmother on Friday night. I ran over to my daughter's house and gave him a big hug. So thank you for all your love.
My good news is a good Thanksgiving, and this morning booked flights to Florida. We haven't been to in almost 2 years.
Morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving with family and friends, and my good news is really the weather. We've been trying to get soybean harvest done, and we're like 2/3 of the way there, so it's been great.
And well, I don't know if it's good news. Well, it's good news for my son. My oldest turned 16 on Saturday, and I took him to get his learner's permit. Good news for me is he got his first job last night and start paying his own way. So that's good news round. Janet, did you have a learning corner for us?
Yes, I do. This is about the official Rotary flag. An official Rotary flag was formally adopted by Rotary International at the 1929 convention in Dallas, Texas. The Rotary flag consists of a white field with the official wheel symbol emblazoned in gold in the center of the field. The 4 depressed spaces on the rim of the Rotary wheel are colored royal blue. The words Rotary and International printed on the top and bottom depressions of the wheel rim are also gold. The shaft in the hub and in the keyway of the wheel are white. The first official Rotary flag reportedly was flown in Kansas City, Missouri in January of 1915. In 1922, a small Rotary flag was carried over the South Pole by Admiral Richard Byrd, a member of the Winchester, Virginia Rotary Club. 4 years later, the Admiral carried the Rotary flag in his expedition to the North Pole. Some Rotary clubs use the official Rotary flag as a banner at club meetings. In these instances, it is appropriate to print the words Rotary Club above the wheel symbol and the name of the city, state, or nation below the emblem. The Rotary flag is always prominently displayed at the world headquarters, as well as all conventions and official events of Rotary International. That's your Rotary Minute.
Thank you very much, Janet. Jeff, 50-50 draw. I'll have Steve pull the winning ticket today. You get a chance to win the pot. So if nobody has anything else, thank you, Steve, again.
If somebody wants theme pin for this year, I got a couple of water first brochures.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much again for coming down and speaking with us today. Everyone have a great day.